Hi everyone, it's Veronica. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to make something that I think is going to be really amazing in the end, and it is going to be with the African Bloodstone gemstones and other components and things that I have from my stash. And also I know that some of you wanted to see more of a Coriana chain stuff, so I will be using that in this project. And I am hopefully at the end of this video I will make and reveal what it is that I am working on. So if it's not going to be this video, it will be another video. I am still waiting. I'm hoping that as I am doing my project here that a delivery will come. If it does not, then I'm going to hold off on the announcement. So I just want to leave you that little teaser because it's going to be exciting, and so of course I will make those announcements. So I wanted to start this video off with the precious word, as I usually do, and then I'm going to pull out the stuff and we can get started. Okay, so today's precious word of the day is from Hebrews 10, which is chapter 10, verse 23. And this is from the King James Version, which is, I prefer that over any other one. And it says, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised." Okay, so let me get the stuff and I will be right back. Okay, so these are all the parts that I'm going to be using, and I'm not going to use all of them. I just need them here so that we can determine that as we're moving along. So here I have, these are man-made hematite. As you can see, I have it in the triangle, I have them in the circle, and I also have them in a 8x6. I think that's what that is, 8x6 or 8x4. So they are 8 millimeters long and about 4 millimeters wide. And yeah, so these are going to be part of the main part of the necklace. Here I have a variety of things here. Now I've already taken the African Bloodstone, and this is a registered African Bloodstone gemstone. And that came in the Gemstone Orphanage from the Homestrung Jewelry. And so I already put the bail on it. That also came in that subscription box. And I connected it with the 6 millimeter jump ring. And there is a component here, or a connector here. And it's got 3 here. So this is going to connect to part of that necklace, and then I'm going to add something here to then continue to add on to kind of give it that a little bit of a Y shape, not too long. I have various jump rings. I have some clamshells. This here is, I'm going to be connecting this to the, oops, connecting it to the Coriana chain. And so I'll be using that, and I'm going to glue that in there. And this clasp, as tiny as it is very, very sturdy. But it is so cute. And so I'm going to be using this as the extension. And the clamshells I'm going to be using on the other end to connect to the other wire, which I'm going to be using the beading wire for that. Okay. And then these are the onyx. These are 3 millimeter. And I just put the ones that I'm going to be using in that area for my either the Coriana chain or the beading wire, depending on which ones I decide to use these with. The 6 millimeter Bloodstone gemstone, the African Bloodstone, and I also have the 4 millimeter onyx gemstone here, and the 4mm African bloodstone here. These I have the 8x5.5 rondelle, half red, half black. And this Coriana chain is stainless steel, and it is truly, truly amazing. So let me get a piece here. It's, I believe this is a 0.05 in millimeter. So this will go through a gemstone hole, because a lot of the times those are very small. So it will go on there, and it is stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about it tarnishing. And it's just so soft, and it just falls so nicely. So yeah, it is very, very pretty and so soft. Okay, so let me get the design ready, and we'll go from there. All right, for this part, we're going to do the foundation of the necklace, okay? And I have about 10 inches here of the Coriana. I have about 12 inches here of the, this is the 7-strand Beaded. Okay, I'm running out. I'm going to have to get me some. But as you can see, this is 0.46 millimeter or 0.018 inch. And this is in the stainless steel color, and this is 7 strands here, okay? And we are going to start with one of our clamshells, and we're going to put on one of our crimp beads here, and this is in the gunmetal. Actually, we have to start, I keep forgetting that. We have to start with the clamshell. Put the clamshell on first, and then, oh no. Sorry, I just dropped it. I had to find it. It's about 2 inches from me. They just go popping everywhere. Okay, so let's do that again. Put our clamshell on. And just try to keep it on the table, so don't slide off the other end. So unless you want to use a clamp or something to hold the other end. All right, let's put that here. And then we're just going to go ahead and squish that. So you can use one of your tools, a flat nose, you know, one of your tweezers, nose pliers. And I'm going to come down towards the end only because of the strength that it has more towards this area. So I want to get it straight and not crooked. And then I'm just going to go ahead, and you can bring it towards the end if you want, because you could always snip off at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a nice squish. And then you can just take your, okay. And if you feel you need to do it some more, flip it over, make sure the other side is okay. Now you can go ahead and slide up your and then you can go ahead and you can start closing it with your fingers, making sure that that sits in the cup area. Okay, so let it go down in there and close that, and then make sure it's nice and even. The holes match up. And I like to make sure I close it a little bit more, so you can gently take, you know, your pliers, just hold it gently. Okay. All right, so we have one there. Now we're going to go ahead and start putting our beads on. Now this might be a little challenge because in each of the circles and the triangle we are going to insert a bead. So we are going to start with a circle. Thinking actually maybe we should do this. I'm going to start with one of these here. That 3mm onyx. I'm going to go ahead with the tube. Another one of these. And now we're going to go with the circle. I would just go ahead and insert it in one side. Then we're going to put on one of the rondelles. Okay. Now this is where we're going to have to pull it down just a wee bit. Okay. And this is where you're probably going to need your needle nose, tweezer nose pliers, because you're going to need to get that to come down and enter into that hole. So we're going to have to try to line it up. This is where it gets challenging. It's not always easy to see. There we go. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Okay. And now we're going to go with the next set. So we'll want one of these and another 3mm. Okay, so far it's looking like this. Now we're going to go ahead and do our circle again. Put on a rondelle. And then we're going to come back down and gently, or slowly I should say, and get that going through that hole again. Now that we have two on here, we're going to go ahead and put on another one of these little 3mm onyx gemstones. Another kind of bugle style or barrel style. Okay. Now this is where we're going to go ahead and do the triangle, because we're going to have two on each side. Now we're going to have the triangle, but because this is bigger, we're going to go and put on a gemstone, a rondelle, and another gemstone. And I'm praying that that fits properly. It's going to be a tight squeeze. If not, then slowly. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to squeeze in there nice. Okay, so I want to see if I can find something a little bit smaller, because I definitely want something on each side of this. So I'm going to try to find perhaps a seed bead, since it is smaller than this. So give me a hot second. Okay, so I have a bag of 11Os here. They are in the black. All right, let's see if that works. All right, so again, we'll go ahead and insert the wire. We'll take 11O, a rondelle, and another 11-0. Wonder if we can do 2. Let's see. You know what? We'll just try that. So slowly come down and then, oops, maneuver it over to the other hole that's there. Okay. And this is what we have so far. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Okay, and then you're just going to repeat the process on the other side. So you're going to start with a 3mm, and you're going to have your hematite here, and then another one, and just do that twice, and I'll be right back. All right, so we now are going to finish this part of the necklace off, and again, you're going to go ahead and put on your clamshell. Okay, and then your crimp bead. So now you want to see where the wire wants to go that way. That's the way we want to make sure that it goes and flows. You don't want to try to go against the grain of it, because then this will fall much more nicely and pretty on your necklace. Okay, so now we can come in and very carefully lift it up, and we're going to go ahead and take that seed bead. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this a little bit, just a little. Let me come in closer. Going to wiggle around on you, but at least try to get your, and I know we're going to have to use the tip here instead of the back part, so that's why we're going to have to try to go on both sides to continue to clamp it down. So you want to try to get in there and go ahead and squish. Now we know that's not totally squished on there, so we want to come to the other side. And if you can bring it down a little bit further, go for it. All right, just want to double check to make sure it's on there. So I'm just gonna see if I can reach that. Okay. So as you can see, this side, you don't want this kind of like facing the other direction. So when you go to close it, try to make it so that it's in the same direction as that one. Okay. So you can actually lay it down. And just close it a little before you go and cut this off. You should be able to get your snippers in there. If not, I think I closed it a little too much. All right, let's try that again. So I'm going to come in here and snip it right here. Okay, and there's probably about 7 inches there that you can hold on to for something else. Okay, now we can go in and close that. So I want to make sure this is all nice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that. So I have it nicely closed. I want to get it nice and aligned. And always like to make sure that the ends are closed a little bit. I don't like big gaps like that. I want it to look like it's uniform and shut properly. To the best of your ability. Okay. All right, so far that's what we have here. All right, so from here, I want to add this. So with that 8mm jump ring here, I want to put that hanging here. Okay, so this is going to be, since this is the focal, you want this not at like 20 inches. This is going to sit nice, probably right at the collarbone area, and then you can have this right down where your sternum is. So this way you can, now if any of you have this particular subscription box, you know, this here, I mean, this gets pretty lengthy here. So we want to, you don't necessarily even have to have this connector if you don't want to. I just think it's really pretty, and it gives me an opportunity to take and utilize these to perhaps connect, you know, some gemstones coming this way, and I'm hoping that's going to work out. If I can't get it to that direction without it kinking up, then I may have to remove these too, but we'll see. I just think adding some gemstone, you know, doing some nice simple wrap or simple loops onto a couple of the 4mm and bringing them up here, that's going to look really pretty, provided it goes on well. So I got the 8mm because, as you can see, this part is kind of wide. So you want to make sure this sits comfortably in there so that there is some natural sway, as opposed to something like a 6mm that might get stuck. So I want to try this on first onto this, and then we can start working on the little components with the gemstones. All right, so I am going to go ahead and open this. Oops. And we're going to go ahead and put that right on there. Might have to open it a little bit wider. All right, let it fall naturally where it goes. Is that the way it goes? There it is. All right. So I'm going to come in here and then go ahead and close that. Make sure that it's closed and lined up. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to work here on the components. Let's see what we can do with I'm going to move this a little bit out of the way so I can focus on getting the other stuff. All right, so for this one, I am going to use, I have 4mm, and I'm going to use the 28 gauge because I am going to do tiny little wrapped loop just for these. And I think if there's anything else I may need, I'll probably use 20 gauge, but we'll see. So I'm going to make sure you straighten these out. I just want to make sure that end is clean, flush. And just cut off another piece here, probably about 3 inches. I have my round nose pliers. And we just want smaller ones here. Okay, we don't need big old loops. All right. Now, bringing out the ones that I have with tape on it. I really, really have a pet peeve on marred loop ends, and I know I've done it myself, and they just, to me, they look horrible. And I think if anybody is going to purchase a piece, and if they were to decide to sit and admire it one day and then start noticing, wait a minute, what is this, you know? So I want to be able to handle with care, and so that the people are absolutely satisfied with their pieces. Okay, so I'm going to snip this part off, and I will tuck it in a bit. Okay, so I want to add and my 3mm. Let's see how that looks. I am kind of designing also on the fly a bit here. Like I said, I have an idea. I think that's okay. I could go with something smaller, but I really love the gemstone. All the pieces here that are gemstone. Okay, so now go in. I'm going to go the opposite direction. Maybe not. Well, if it needs to be in the opposite direction, then we'll go ahead and do that at the time. All right, and again, come around. Gotta make sure I get a good grip on that. Wow, keeps slipping. Sorry, guys. So yeah, you'll get about 3 turns around. Okay, I'm not getting a grip. It keeps slipping. To place it somewhere else. I think maybe, hopefully I have it. Okay, now I can go ahead and snip that. And now I can tuck in both sides. Okay, now at this point they are facing the same way. So I'm going to do the other one, and I'll be back and let's see if we can go ahead and make the connections. Okay, so it looks like this will fit from here to right behind that gemstone. Okay, so we're going to take our small, these are about 4 millimeter, so we'll need like 4 of those. These are stainless steel, so they should be pretty sturdy. So let's see. Hopefully. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, all right, got some finagling to do here. I am going to open that up just a little bit more because I want to make sure I can get around. All right, so I'm going to put that on here and then here, so it's going to come right, oops. So right there. This is where it can get a little, I'm going to try to hold it on there. Maybe I can use that to help close it. Okay, now I can turn it this way a bit and try to get in here and hold on to that. Can you all see that? All right, let's see. So now, with that, I'm hoping. All right, so now let's connect this one. Again, I just want to open it slightly, just so we don't have to try to squeeze it on there. So now we're going to go ahead and go through there, and oops, so we got to hold on to your stuff, give it a little more of a firm grip. I used to give it a death grip, and now for some reason backing off on that. I think I've become too light sometimes. It drives me crazy because I end up losing a lot of, you know, my pieces that fall right out from my tool. And okay, so make sure that's situated right. Okay, now I can lift it up. And okay, so there's one side. Oh, look at that. That is looking so pretty. So pretty. All right, so the same thing. Okay, hold on. I got a piece of hair. It's driving me nuts. Where is it? Oh, my hair gets everywhere. Okay, so again, let's try to get the other side. You don't want to open it too wide, because then that means you're going to have to struggle to close it. You have further to go. All right, so now we're going to come in here. Hold on to that. I'll be able to see where that's going. All right, hold on. All right, let me look at that again. It's very challenging. Oh my. All right, I'm going to have to use my finger. Try to make a quick thing here before I lose it. All right, so I'm just going to close it a little bit. All right. So I think I'm going to just use... Wow, this is not easy when you're working with such tiny little pieces. Okay. Whew. Now that that's over. All right, now just jiggle it out again to make sure everything is laying the way you want it. Okay. And same thing. I'm going to get this here. So, you know, all this hard work, the reward in the end is amazing. And, you know, it's the same thing in life. You know, perseverance does bring rewards. And, I mean, obviously, you know, if your perseverance is in not so good stuff, well, then expect that not so good stuff will happen or come back to you. And I know the world calls that karma, but if you read the Word of God, you understand that as something that He speaks of quite often. And it's not karma. It has everything to do with the way in which we walk, whether it's in righteousness or unrighteousness. So, but you know, men have to put their philosophical views on there, and we are told to beware of philosophers. It's all vain deceit. His word is true. His word is right. And most often, the things that people speak of and try to take the credit for something that was already written, already said in the Bible, already said thousands and thousands of years ago, right from the very beginning of creation. So, yeah. Men just seem to like to take credit for the things God has already spoken. And so you know, that's just something, because His word is precious and no one else gets the glory but Him. Okay, wow, look at how pretty that is. I think that is so pretty. Okay, so now, ooh, this alone with just the chain would be nice, but I definitely want to add some of this gemstones here. So now I do have 10 inches here, and what I'd like to do is measure this first here, because again, I want this to sit right, probably right on my collarbone, so that this goes right down my sternum area. All right, and let me get the ruler. All right, let's see. I'm going to use my purple one today. So far we have this is, looks, I'm not getting a proper reading from this angle. Let's bring this up here. It is almost 6.5. So I would say 6 1/4. Now, if you want you know, 17 inches, okay, then you will then take the 6 1/4 and then make sure that you add any little connections here and your clasp, okay? So again, this is totally up to you as to your size. I am going to make a measurement as to the one that I would like. Okay, mine, I'm going to get this down to about 4 1/4 each. And let's see. I am going to actually use, because this is stainless steel, and I know it's thinner, but I want to make sure that I don't ruin any of my flush cutters. So I'm going to do 4 1/4 for each side. Let's see. Because again, we're going to be adding our clasp onto these. So 4 1/4. Okay, I am going to put that aside here. So I have 4 1/4 each. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take some of our crimp beads again. Okay, I have 4. I'm going to do on each side, but I'm going to add some of these beads. So I'm thinking, should we do the 6mm with these? Or should we put these in the middle? I'm thinking the black ones. Okay. So I'm hoping, if not, we'll see, because we have to do both sides. All right. Now, oops. All right, let's put that aside. Got lots of clear ones here. I'm going to take those out because I want to do something else with those. All right, so we have some very colorful ones, or at least the ones that have different striations and banding and stuff going on in here. So actually, these two, I'm going to take these out for now. If I can insert them after, I will. I wanted to go with the darker colors here. Okay, so we'll take our clamshell, because I have, now these ones are a little bit different than the other ones. These are closer to the color in the Coriana chain. But if you notice, only on one side does it have that little eye hook or eye hole, okay? So, and I need 4 of those. I know I have it in here somewhere. There it is. And as the ones down here had one on each side, which is the reason why, you know, I try to clamp them and make them line up perfectly. These ones I kind of like a little bit better, so you don't have to worry about the holes from both sides. If they had both of these to try to line up, sometimes it can be difficult. And then by adjusting them, sometimes you end up ruining the clamshell. So we're going to go ahead and just open that a little bit here. We're going to put that on one side. Okay. Put on one of our now, because we cut 4 1/2, you want to make sure that when you are putting these on, you really, really want to get to the end as close as possible and try to minimize cutting anything off, okay? So I'm going to bring this in. So I'm going to use my flat nose here, and hopefully I have it nice and straight. So you can, oops, maybe not. Maybe we shouldn't be using that, because having this flat nose, it'll work better in crimping, but you won't be able to see it as much. Let me move this out of the way here. All right, so we have the clamshell on. Let's get our crimp bead on. And we're going to take that and pull it up to the end. Oops. Sorry, guys. I'm We're going to go to the very end, as you can see, okay? I'm going to squash that right there. And again, making sure that it's nicely tightened. Oops. I'm trying to grab my chain. It's a lot shorter than I wanted. I mean, a lot shorter than I thought. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that that is in there. We want it to sit right in there. And I know Wendy, when she used this, sometimes she would use glue. So you can do that if you'd like. I just can't seem to get my fingers on this. All right. So if I do that, bringing it up just enough to sit right in there. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to close this a little bit more, and then I can go ahead and adjust that so it's sitting properly. I swear it's not this hard, but as usual, as soon as you do something on camera, everything gets a little bit more difficult. What do you call that? Murphy's Law? What could go wrong will. There. That's nice. See, and you can see both sides are closed. Okay. Now we can add on some of our gemstones here. Okay. And I apologize if I was out of screen right there. But again, it's, you know, when you're trying to look at something really close, the camera, when it zooms in, it kind of moves over. So even though our hands may be in the same place that we normally would do things in, the camera lens has focused on a different area. And I think some of you who do any kind of recording and do that zoom in, you know that it does that. All right, so now we're going to try to get in some. So I want to put a smaller one on first. I always like to start with the smaller ones. Okay. Let's see how many we can. Okay. All right. 1 second. I'm not doing anything out of the camera. I'm just trying to make sure my fingers are in the right place. Just want to make sure I got a good grip on them. All right, so we have one. Let's see what happens. I hope I have enough. If not, I'm going to have to grab something else. Now, I have the 8mm ones, but I think I'm going to be making a bracelet with that, a gemstone bracelet, and I think I'm going to be using some memory wire, and I think I'm going to do it like a 3-strand. So we'll see what happens, because I have some really neat what do you call that, rhinestone stuff that I want to add to it, and just to make it look so pretty. Where's the hole? I'm not picking and choosing which bead, I'm just grabbing them. So the only pattern here would be 6mm to a 4mm. To 6mm to a 4mm. Oh. Now also, because we don't have to fill this entire thing either, just so you know. because part of this, you know, is going to go around the back of the neck. Okay. So I think what I'll do is add one more of these, and then we will close it off with I think with these here. And I'm hoping that it's going to work. I have to put I got to put it in here because it seems kind of big. And it almost seems big. I just may end up using a clamshell. I think this is going to go, it's going to have to go with a Coriana chain that might be a little bit bigger. It's just too much space, as you can see. And I just really don't want to waste this if it's, if that glue is going to, you know, not hold it as good, or there's any compromise because this is very small. All right, so let's just put this back on and we'll go with the clamshell. Oh, well, I'll find something else to use it with. All right, so now we can go ahead and put on the clamshell. And then we'll take another one of our crimp beads. And again, this is going to be at the end. We're not bringing it all the way down like that, okay? We're going to have some beautiful Coriana chain showing. So we are going to take that seed bead to the very top. All right, right there. Perfect. Give it a good squash. Okay. Now we can go ahead and bring our, now we want to look at the other side here. So if you let it hang, you want to make sure this is facing the same way. So we have that side here. I'm going to finish this off of camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and connect these, and then I'm going to try it on to make sure that it fits the way I want it to. If I need to add an extender, of course, I'll do that. And wow, I'm absolutely impressed at how this looks. Absolutely. So I have, again, I have my little 4mm or 4.5mm jump rings here, and my lobster claw clasp, my 6mm here, I think, or those might be 5. I think those are 5. Yeah, these are 5mm. These are 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the connection. And again, these are pretty sturdy, so I don't need to double up on these. And if I feel I need to because of the gemstone, I'll just add it later. I just want to get this to see what we're going to be looking at. You guys could probably hear my heat going on. It was so cold this morning. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe how pretty this is, honestly. Again, seeing something in person is just so different. I want to make sure I have the right one. All right. And then I will end up showing you what this looks like here. So I want to make sure that everything is going in that right direction. Sorry. Left and right are different. Hold on, guys. I'll get back in the camera lens. I'm sorry. Make sure I have the right one. Okay. All right, now I can go ahead and close that. Wow, this is so nice. And this is why I like to use stainless steel stuff, because it's just, you know, when you have gemstone, again, it's to have to, if you want to sell a piece like this, try to get yourself some stainless steel little pieces here. If you find that they are not, but they might have a coating over them as far as the color goes, make sure that you go ahead and use your Protect Clear and try to make sure that you do all of that stuff with any of your components prior to you putting your necklaces or your bracelets together, or any of your pieces together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add on the clasp here. And again, we have all right, so I'm going to go there, and then I'm trying to think. I think if we do small one here, and then we're going to be adding this 6mm. I'll readjust that because that one's not fully closed either, and this is going to be our where it clamps on. All right, so I have to open this a little bit. Oops. 5mm. Sorry, I keep doing that. Some magnetized stuff going on here. Okay, we got that side. Now I want to, let's see if this one will. I should have had this on the other side. Ugh. Oh well. You know what? Let me open this. This is where I'm going to put the clasp, because I am right-handed. So since it's going in this direction, I want the clasp on this end. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And put on my clasp. Now I got that. Now what I can do is, to make up for a little oopsie, I'm going to actually add an 8mm over here for the clasp. And let me try the 5mm first. If that's too small, then I'll add the 8mm. Sometimes having a small place to put your clasp can be, you know, I don't know, just not comfortable. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that here. And, you know, let me put that on. And then I'm going to go ahead and close that. Make sure it's nice and closed. And then go ahead and adjust this one to make sure it's closed properly. All right, now I'm going to see if it fits around my neck, and I'll be back to show you what this looks like. Okay, this is exciting. I am excited. All right, everyone, I couldn't find a shirt that would do this necklace any justice, so I just decided to put it on my bust and show you what that looks like here. I think this is really, really, really pretty. And I did end up going with the 8mm jump ring in the back, so that it hooks onto that, so nobody has to struggle to try to find that hole. And look at that, it's right dead center. That's when you know it works out well. Yeah, and this would, and I know these busts are small, so you don't get what it could look like on a person, but I tell you, when I tried it on and looked in the mirror, it goes right at my collarbone, and the centerpiece here goes right down to my sternum and just right there. So a V-neck would be great with this, and I think that's going to be something I'm going to wear also as part of my holiday party for my, for work. So any earrings that I bring would have to match this. And I did make several pieces with the black and the red and all that good stuff. So everyone, that is that. And I hope that you really, truly enjoyed this. And again, remember, a lot of stuff that we encounter during our creations can be cumbersome. It can be a pain in the big old you-know-what, but it's all worth it in the end. And this piece to me is absolutely beautiful. Use the right components. Sometimes don't skimp on things when you know that you have, these beautiful stones and stuff. So everyone, God bless, and hope that you have a great week, and we will see you again on another video, God willing. Have a great night. Bye-bye.